What's up, fight fans? We are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I am always your host, Edwin, and where do all fights start? Round one. We have an amazing show for you here today. You're going to want to tune in for this one. So, if you haven't already, do me a favor, give the videos a like. It helps the channel grow. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. So, let's get right into this video. Well, it seems like they always got to attack a real one. Naoya, the monster Inoue. Listen, right now, my man BF is on, you know, spewing it, just straight spewing it, right? Right away, I came in, I just try to like give him a heads up so that nobody calls him out on when he starts breaking down the fighters he fought. He's going to see there's going to be some empty slots. And if you're doing by box rec, the WBA, and he right away, he said, I already know that. I already know that. Man, bro, I know you knew that, but I don't think you saw it. But right away, he wants to act like he knows it all, which I watched like a few minutes of him breaking down Naoya in a way, and it was just like the first like 6, 7 fighters he tried to describe. The way he breaks it down was just pure hate and garbage, and just he avoided to point out all the great things he did in those moments. But I'm gonna break them down here at Round One Sports Talk, and if you want, you can see a comparison of how my reporter skills are so much higher than his. It's just not even on the same playing field, bro. Or he's just blatantly hating him because he's Japanese. Because honestly, I don't even know how he missed like 98% of Naoya Inoue's accomplishments. And he tried to point out like random stuff about other people that someone else he fought that they fought. Like it has nothing to do with Naoya Inoue. It was like ridiculous. Like research. It was just straight trash, bro. Trash. So anyway, my show and my segment, this segment has to do with Ed Hearn's comment about Naoya Inoue and how Naoya Inoue should be taken off the pound for pound list. What a desperate attempt by a boxing promoter, huh? What are the likelihoods of him saying something like that? What's up, Fight family? I see y'all in the chat. Thank you for the support, Armando. Everyone for tuning in. Oh shit, we had no sound for a second, right? Is it good? We good now? Oh yeah. Pump up the volume. Can you hear me? Is it good now, Armando? Or I gotta bring it up more? How do I like that? Is it good? We good? All right. Yeah, nah, at the beginning I had it off. I had it off because I was still doing research all the way up into the time I pressed that play button, man. Yeah, on Naoya Inoue. I'm just a little took, taken back by how much, backlash he's getting and how the world is obviously unaware why we've got the Yi Jung Kim fight. Yet these guys are on their platform saying, oh, Naoya Inoue is taking these cherry picks and these tune-up fights. He didn't take this fight. He didn't want none of this. He wanted to fight Sam Goodman. He didn't want to fight TJ Doheny. And Sam Goodman, by the way, as I looked up today, he's still ranked number 1 by the IBF and the WBO. So he's not out of the way, and we're going to break that down. But we're also going to break down Naoya Inoue's record. And just in case you're tuning here around One Sports Talk, talk is cheap. It's very cheap, right? And if you're trying to hide something, just don't show it. That way the people are not reminded, out of sight, out of mind. But here in Round One Sports Talk, we put all the paperwork up right? And we're going to get right to the bottom of it because that's how we do. So here's the man in question. Naoya, the monster Inoue. He has 29 fights, 26 ways by knockout, 29 bouts, 173 rounds. Started his career, his debut, 2012, right? He's 31 years old, 5'5", 67-inch arm reach, and he currently has all 4 belts. The WBA is not recognized by BoxRec, so no WBA world titles will be on BoxRec due to their conflict. Now, my man BF over here, right, goes on, and he's talking about the level of competition Naoya Inoue fought. For example, he's bringing up the men individually, right? Nice try, right? That's not what's important in the first part of a man's career. Why are you judging the men he fought on day one? This is an 8-round fight. Go look at any boxer you want to try to put up against them, and I mean any boxer in boxing history. Okay? And any current fighter BF wants to bring to the line. He started his career an 8-round fight. Show me on their records where they started their career with an 8-round fight. And get somebody worthy. Because I know for a fact where Terrence Crawford started his career. I know for a fact where Tank Davis, where Usyk. I know for a fact where Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson all started their boxing career. So you can go look it up. He started his career with an 8-round fight. Most fighters start with a 4 or a 6-round fight. And he only had 2 8-round fights. That's what he fails to mention. Right? Then he does not mention his next 2 fights were 10-round fights. For example, now, we're not holding back any punches today. That's it. We're exposing all lies. You wanna talk about this man? You really want me to do this? Bet. This is what y'all want. Bad enough I can't even see without the... All right, this is what you guys want? Bet. Let's put the best versus the best. Right? Oh, I'm pressing it over here. I got to press it on this screen. Terrence Crawford. There you go. We're not just putting him up against any regular boxer. No. I'm going to put him up against the best. 41 fights, 30 way by knockout. Terrence Crawford's 37 years old, 5'8", 74-inch arm reach, 245 round experience, 75% knockout ratio. He started his career 2008, right? Okay. Where did he start his career? Oh, shit, what's this? 4-round fight. How many did he have? 4-round fight. 4-round fight. 4-round fight. 4-round fight. 4-round fight. 4-round. Am I still going here, people? I don't know. Am I missing anything here? When you start to break down people's records and you're coming at these people and you're trying to judge them on day one when they were getting their feet wet and they're trying to dress it up like he wasn't fighting nobody. Well, damn it. Who did he fight this many fights? Terrence Crawford. Were there anybody? Were they world champions? Then he came into the 6-round fights. How many 6-round fights did he have? Bing, 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 bing. Come on. And then 8. And then back to 6. And then 6. And then back to 8. And then 8. Look. And then we finally get to 10. So stop playing with me, bro. And that's the best. Stop playing with me right now. These dudes think that what this dude is doing is really unprecedented. The way they're trying to come at him to diminish his record, it's crazy, bro. These smoke screens they try to give to the public. Bro, are you kidding me? This is what you guys want? This is what you want? Because I can just put the truth up on the board. Bro, he started his career with an 8-round fight. An 8-round fight. That was his last one. 2 more fights were 10. The rest of his fights were 12-round fights. He was fighting a 12-round fight for an Oriental Pacific Boxing Championship, right? Listen, when he broke down Adrian Hernandez and he tried to give Naoya Inoue minimal credit for beating Adrian Hernandez, what he failed to mention to the public, right, is that Adrian Hernandez had 29 fights. Adrian Hernandez was the champion for over 4 years. Adrian Hernandez has never been knocked out in his career. And what else he failed to mention was Naoya Inoue was a kid. He was 19 years old, turning 20 years old, going into that Adrian Hernandez fought. Oh, yeah, and by the way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, he only had 5 professional fights. What he's doing is judging Naoya Inoue's competition without recognizing what Naoya Inoue was doing, the spectacular shit. He doesn't have you recognize, wait a minute, the Japanese dude only had 5 fights. And he was already contending for a world title with 5 professional fights. How many fights did Terence Crawford have before he competed for his first world title? Talk is cheap. Why don't we pull it up? This is how y'all want it. This is because they're disrespecting these fighters, and what he's doing should not be overlooked. It should not be overlooked. They're gonna let me go forward or not? All right, here we are. Naoya Inoue contended for a world title. You saw it, right? In his first 5 fights. How many fights did it take Mr. Terence Crawford to compete for his first world title? Count with me until we find the belt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, the NABO light vacant. That's not a world 20. That's not a world title. It's just like that Pacific title Naoya Inoue fought in 4. So that's 21, 22, 23, 24 against Ricky Byrne. That's a real world title. He fought 24 times before competing for his first major world title at 135 pounds. 24 fights. And you really mean that they're talking about this Japanese dude like the shit that he's doing ain't shit? No, who are you comparing him to is what I would like to know. When you're breaking down his record and you're saying that the guys he didn't fight weren't shit and that, oh, that's not that impressive. Really? Then who did it better? Tell me who did it better. You can't just say that, but you got nobody to put him up against, because I just put him against Terence Crawford. I didn't put him against no bum. I put him against arguably the top pound for pound fighter in the world. So I didn't disrespect the man. I didn't put Naoya Inoue against fucking Sam Goodman. I put his record against the best. 5 fights fighting for a world title. And you're talking about who the hell was Adrian Hernandez? You know who Adrian Hernandez was? The champion of that division. That's who he was. He held that belt for 4 years. What are you talking about? These people are crazy. Adrian Hernandez was the champ. Yo, bro, come on, man. Listen. That's Adrian Hernandez, bro. When he fought Naoya anyway. Hold on, man. Get this shit off the screen, bro. I be hating these ads. Yo, look at all the belts this man had. And remember, there could be more because the WBA is not up here. So we really don't actually know. Okay. But I want to get a reference point. Right? He loses his belt right here. Right? Bam, 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 bam. Okay. And then he lost right there, which is his first one. And then he regains this one right here. So bam, he's coming, bam, bam. He was on a good title run. He was on a good title run. And that's what I mean, man. That's what I mean. These guys, listen, this is a kid doing this. You have to understand that. This is a kid. He was literally 19 years old, going on 20 when he came to fight this man. This man was a grown-ass man. How old was it when Terrence Crawford started his career? Did he start at 19? How old were these guys when they were doing it, when they were fighting these world champions in only 5 professional fights? And you're comparing them to who? Listen, check this out. By 8 professional fights, he had already became a 2-division world champion. Look at, that was his 5th one coming into the 6th. That's 7. This is 8 fights. And he jumped up in his 8th professional fight. He jumped up from 108 to 115. From 108 to 115. And he didn't fight like just anybody. He fought the champion. Although it's not going to have the belt right. Oh, yeah, it does. WBO right here. Yeah. I thought there was a slot where I thought no, but it is. Right? That's impressive, bro. From 108 to 115? One jump and you fought the champion right away? And who was the champion? Omar, with 43 professional fights and 1 loss. The only man he lost to was the Hall of Famer, Donito Donaire. So coming into a fight, you got a kid moving up, has 7 fights professionally. 7 fights professionally. His last fight was in 108 pounds. 108 pounds. And he weighed in 107 and a half and 3/4. Naoya Inoue. You get a phone call that a guy 108 is jumping up 2 divisions with only 7 fights. He's 20 years old. He wants to challenge you for your belt. You got 43 professional fights. You ain't never been knocked out in 43 professional fights. Are you? He has how many fights? 7 fights. He's coming up from 108. You're the king of 115. He's jumped 2 weight division. He wants to fight you. Would you say yes? Being the man with 43 professional fights. You only lost 1 time. And the 1 time you lost, you went the distance, 12 rounds. What they're failing to mention was the circumstances of the situation at the time. What they're pointing out are these guys, and since they're not familiar with their names, they go, who the hell is this? Well, then you should have been watching the lower weight divisions, I guess, if you don't know who these guys are. That man's a Hall of Famer. Look, maybe he makes it in, maybe he doesn't. He did a lot. Let's see. And Omar, I don't know how they don't see that. That was a kid. 7 fucking fights. Are you kidding me right now? Y'all would have been like, is this a joke? Is the cameras gonna come out of here? Am I getting punked? 7 fights. Yeah, right. He's jumping on 2-weight divisions. Come on. Is this for real? Yeah, I'll fight that guy. Yo, he got his ass whoop. Naoya Inoue had, since the time, right? Let's put it in a better perspective. Okay. This is what I want you to see. 1, 2, 3, 4. He only had 4 fights. The rest of his fights have been all 12-round fights, right? Okay. From the moment, and I mean from the moment he won this belt right here, he has never not been a world champion in his career. So you're talking about a man that he only had 5 fights. He only had 5 fights without a belt in his entire career. That's all it took him. From the moment he started his career, 5 fights. After 5 fights, his rest of his career and all 29 of his fights, he's had a world title. Or been in a world title fight. He came into the fight against Stephen Kubo Fulton, not the champion, having vacated all 4 belts. But that's a title fight. And he was victorious. So at the end of the night, he walked out with 2 belts. Every fight after 5 fights, he's had world titles. That is freaking impressive. That is impressive. And to add to it, he's coming into his 25th world title fight right now, consecutive, in a row. There isn't a man in boxing history that has ever done that throughout 4 weight divisions. In the history of boxing. Now, Ed Hearn is going to come out and piss me off and say, yo, we should take Naoya Inoue off the pound-for-pound list because allegedly he's ducking MJ. And I'm like, you want to take a man off a pound-for-pound list that has accomplished all that shit because of your feelings? And that's what you're pushing out to the general. Ed Hearn, you're a sucker for that. Why? Because whether a lot of people buy into Ed Hearn's bullshit, you better believe this. There is a percentage of people that are Ed Hearn fans. And his voice carries in boxing. Sometimes he's ridiculous, his antics or whatever. But how many people bought into that? Maybe not me or you. But there are some people. For him to come out and say, yo, you should take him off the pound list. Really? And replace him with who? MJ? Your guy? Yo, these dudes be pissing me off. Because when greatness is here, it's like they don't want to recognize it. It's like, I'm sitting here, I'm saying to myself, how the hell can you guys deny this dude? Like, look, if you're going to sit there and say, for instance, that it doesn't matter what LeBron James does, right? Because he's never going to pass Michael. Then there's a group of fans that say through his longevity that he's accomplished a lot. And those people, and I mean all of them, left, right wingish, whatever you want to call them, those are the type of people in cancer in sports I talk about. You see, they can't beat greatness. So what they got to do, they got to enter other things into the conversation. I don't care what LeBron does, what he accomplished, what his numbers are, his longevity. That was never in the conversation. The conversation was 6 rings. That's it. Mirror him, then we'll talk. You don't do that, we have nothing to talk about. We only understand rings. It was never about numbers or records. But somehow people allowed all his arguments in, and they started debating them back and forth. Like, all you had to do to shut all that down, none of that's valid. None of it. We weren't talking about great job, my man. Listen, seriously, LeBron, amazing career, bro. Freaking amazing. That dude is phenomenal, right? I'm sorry, that's not what we were talking about. I'm not going to hear anything you have to say until you bring me 6. That is the end of the story. That is it. Kobe came close, and I was waiting for Kobe to enter the room because he deserved it, right? I thought Kobe played strong, mirrored his game after him, but yo, it is what it is, right? But that's the kind of situations I talk about. In order for these guys to put themselves in the room with a great one, they would have to try to find a way to belittle his accomplishments. But what you can't do is you can't put records side by side with him. That's what you can't do. You don't have a person that exists. That's why they say he's special. That's why they say, reporters say, we've never seen nothing like this. Because that's the definition of never seeing nothing like this. He must be doing it one of a kind. So how is the guy that we've never seen nothing like this a hype job? Trash. How is that possible? Because by definition, this guy is garbage. And no one else is better than him, doing it quite better than him. Then who's not garbage? He's at the top of the food chain. No matter if you put him in the number 1, 2, or 3 spot, guarantee you he's right there. So the top 3 guys are the top of the food chain. Right? By definition, if you're calling any of these guys trash, what's that say about the rest of boxing? That speaks louder than words to me. It means that everyone else must be garbage. Because there's no one doing it better than the top 3. That's why we have a top 3. So I don't get it. I don't get it when these guys try to make up these fake ass stories. Oh, how embarrassing is it that we ordered this fight 2 times, and the 3rd time he's going to end up vacating the belt before he fights MJ. Just stay tuned and watch. And for me, from the moment I heard that, I said, come on, that's just Ed Hearn vomiting, right? Bullcrap, right? He has a way better record than Tate. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Lloyd. Yo, listen. And thank you for everyone tuning in. Look, guys, a lot of these guys try to take Naoya Inoue's success and dull it down. I told you, the one problem Naoya Inoue has that I have with him, there's only one problem. There's only one thing I see he's doing it wrong. Is that he's doing it too good. He's doing it too fast. And it's like when, for instance, when Floyd used to box, Floyd had got into a position in his career where he had to allow people to hit him because his managers and stuff were saying, Floyd, if you keep doing shit like that, no one's going to want to fight you. If you do what you did to Arturo Gatti, to everybody, Floyd, you're going to have to get a bloody nose. You're going to have to give them the impression they can beat you. Floyd, you're going to have to let Shane Mosley hit you. you're going to have to let Zab Judah hit you. You're going to have to let some of these guys do this. And then Floyd had to like bring down his success in order to get some of these fights, right? And I understood that about some fighters. I understood that at that point that all fighters weren't the same. Every fighter wasn't equal, and each case was unique. Naoya Inoue truly, the way he's doing it, right? I have to admit that I think that a big part of Naoya Inoue's success, and I believe this, was his appearance. In the early part of his success, just look at him. 108, 5'5", 19-year-old kid. And they show you a picture of him, it could fool you. And I bet that picture fooled a lot of fighters, bro. When they saw him, you should go back and listen to a lot of these interviews, what they used to talk about him. And I think that at the first part of his career, since he attacked boxing, like, listen, he only 5 fights without a world title. Right out the gate, he was fighting champions. Right off the gate, name me a fighter that was doing that. Loma tried to do it and he lost in his second professional fight. He's the quickest in 4, but Naoya Inoue is the quickest to 2 in 8. And then Loma's the quickest to 3. You see, like that, because these men, when it's all said and done in their careers, your records, you leaving and your name being at the top, that's what it is about, ain't it? Records, belts, divisions, having fun while you're doing it, showcasing your skills. That's what the game's about. To hit without being hit. Right? So, Naoya Inoue, man, he's an anomaly, man. I've never seen anything like this in my life. I've never seen anything like it. And it's like, I'm like thrown back sometimes when like these guys get all over him and the ways they try to come at him. And I'm like, yeah, you guys are not telling the full story. You guys are breaking down his competition in his first 5, 6 fights. Jesus, we just went down Terrence Crawford's. He had like fucking 12 fights in 4 rounds. Are you going to count all 12 of those guys? Of course you wouldn't. You would have to lower the conversation in order to get your guy in there. Truthfully, there's not too many men that should be in the conversation with Usyk, Terrence Crawford, and Naoya Inoue. They really shouldn't. That's why they're considered elite fighters. We don't have that many elite fighters, and these are the men that are doing it the best in their weight division. Usyk is the elite of the heavyweights. Terrence, the elite of the 154 pounders right now. Kind of arguably, right? He's only had 1 fight in the division. I mean, yes, I don't think your name should carry you over from 147 to 154 if you haven't really proven yourself. You fought one guy that had 10 fights. That's what you did. But since we all know who you are and what you accomplished in boxing, I guess the boxing fans allow you to carry your status over. Realistically, no, he shouldn't be considered the best 154 pounder. No, not just because of your name. In the real world, you only fought one guy and he had 10 fights. That's just the truth. There would be the same argument if you was to tell me Tank Davis is the best 135 pounder. And I'm saying, how? How is that possible? By definition, explain to me how is he the best 135 pounder? I would drop the link and I would love for anybody in the world to just share with me because I would love to be educated. I'm not going to argue you. I want to learn. And I would love anyone on planet Earth to come up here and tell me what makes Tank Davis the best 135 pounder in the world. And immediately I'm going to set the ground rules. Popularity, ticket sales can't be in the argument. It can't. How the fuck does that make you the best fighter in the world? Just means a lot of people like you. Okay, you're well liked. You're well loved. Okay, I get it. Aren't we talking about boxing and skills? Oh, yeah, we are. Okay. So if Gervonta Davis hasn't fought a world champion at 135, how do you solidify him as a world champion at 135? I'm waiting. He hasn't fought one world champion at 135 since he beat the fax machine for the super belt. It was a close fight. That fax machine was state of the art. It was like one of the 2025 one. Remember when they faxed him the belt? It was a big fax machine. It was a big one. You know, Gervonta beat him. But besides beating a fax machine, who did he fight for as a champion? Former or current at 135. So how's your argument standing, holding up so far? Shakur Stevenson, didn't he fight a champion? Didn't Loma fight a champion for that? No, he fought for a vacant belt. Ooh. Uh-oh. Nope, Loma, back up, Loma. Right? Yo, Denis Berinchyk fought a champion, though. Yeah, he fought a champion. So he's got championship fight pedigree. Champion is not, and Tank is not the best at 135. No, he's not the best at 135. He just makes the most money. He's the most popular. He's the most famous. He's the most loved. He has that what we call that it factor. Tank Davis. We all know that. Yeah. But we got to stop doing that with our fighters. We got to stop getting mixed up what these guys are doing on their outside lives and, either political or, see, Muhammad Ali couldn't, and there was a point where he could no longer separate what he was doing outside in the real world and in what he was doing in the ring. He was walking around with all the Muslim brothers. He had the black movement behind him. It was just a lot of distraction. And he's over here speaking and people are hanging on his every word. And then he has to go in the ring and knock somebody out. That could be real distracting. So Tank is real popular. And, he'll hit a live or go. You could see how many people attract to him. It's well loved. I never questioned any of that. And I'm not questioning his skill. I think he's a very skilled fighter. He has a lot to prove right now at this point in his career. And somebody said that Naoya Inoue is at the tail end of his prime at 31. And I was like, are you crazy? First of all, those Japanese, Asian, Chinese guys, is it me? Or did they age extremely well? A lot of them. Bro, I be seeing one dude. I be like, yo, bro. I be like, I'm thinking he's like 50. He'd be like, I'm 86. And I be like, what? And like, yo, look pretty good, bro. Like, they age pretty good for me. Not saying all of them do. I don't know. I don't want to be stereotypical here. But for the most part, I always saw like, my personal opinion. I'm not getting, crazy here by saying this. Don't make me start feeling uncomfortable here, right? But they do. They age great, I think. And at 31 years old, I think he's still in his prime. If you ask me, I think he's like right there. These guys are talking like he's on the tail end of his prime. He's about done now. I'm like, nah, man, I think we're going to get one of the best. There comes a point in time in a fighter's career, in a fighter's life, where everything comes together. All your fight, all your experience on that one night. I'm still waiting for that fight for Naoya Inoue. That's when you get, I can only would imagine would be like a hyper freaking zone. Like you must get the glow. Is in the glow. Yo. Like that. Like what was it? Bruce Leroy? Right? And that, that's funny, it's cool to joke about, but that's real shit. That is real shit. When a fighter gets into that, and they try to describe it by you reaching like a plateau, and the guy coming and giving you a master's belt or something as recognition that you have reached the highest level of what whether it be mixed martial art or boxing, but that you reach that plateau, right? And that's what I'm waiting for. That's what I'm waiting for. That fight, man, that everything just clicks. And it could be the type of fight that'll be knocked down, dragged out or something, a real competitive type thing, but he did a lot of smart things in it. It could be as dominated as a walk off. You know what I'm saying? Like Conor McGregor did to Jose Aldo in 13 seconds. Like on that night, he was in the zone. He was there. That's everything he did in his life got him to that fight in that moment. That's what I'm talking about. And I think we're going to see that from Naoya Inoue, maybe in Vegas, maybe in Riyadh, but I think that everything has come together for the man quite well. And, what can I say about him? But as far as Nick Ball, MJ, John Casamera, all the people we want to see him fight, let's talk about it, right? Who do you guys want to see him fight? Who do you think he's going to fight? I'm dropping a link in the chat. Anybody wants to join, want to chop it up with me and Naoya Inoue here, and we can just come up and tell me what you think about the man. Tell me who you would like to see him fight if you want to come up, and or if you want to talk about anything else. Well, right now I'm talking about Naoya Inoue, so we got to keep it there. But the reason why I also dropping the link too is because I want to remind y'all, Sam Goodman is not out of this. Somehow this man is still lingering. They haven't taken his ranking away, right? Okay. And we all know what it is, right? What was it? Was it today? Did they put that out today? Let me see the rankings. I'm gonna go look at the rankings. Hold on. Give me a second, guys. Let me just pull this up. All right. All right, so for 122, according, that's 130, that's 126. Okay, now, Sam Goodman is the number one for the IBF, and Sam Goodman is still the number one for the WBO. For the WBO right now, called Martin, number two. That could be a good fight right there for Naoya Inoue. Marlon Pales is number two for the WBC. Okay. Roman Price. I'll even take that dude that he's number four for the IBF. Mass Sound. There's a lot of moving parts here, been moving around now. A lot of new names jumping up. See, John Casamero so far down. He's number 12 and number 11. Come on, John Casamero. You're letting me down here, bro. How the hell can I talk you up if you're not moving up in damn rankings? These guys want these kind of recognition to fight Naoya Inoue, man, but they're not putting in the work. John Casamero is he's number 11 for the WBC. Yeah, number 11. He's just not moving up the ranking enough. He doesn't deserve a fight with him. And Picasso is the number one for the WBC. There's no number one for the WBA because, of course, you got the argument with Marlon Tapar. I mean, you got the argument with MJ that he's the interim, but they still don't have a number one. And the number two slot is Rahman. And then Price, Lewis, Neri, and then Marlon Tapales. Those are just the top five guys. There's nobody else under the top five I think he'd be willing to fight. The only other possibility, I'm just gonna stay with the narrative. I'm gonna stay with the narrative, and I'm just gonna say that it's going to be Picasso, MJ, and Nick Ball. And I would like to see him fight Nick Ball, right? I mean, Nick Ball, worthy opponent. I like that fight. He's a little scrappy dude. You know, Nick Ball's he doesn't have a number one. Bruce Carrington's the number two, I believe, to Nick Ball's title. Um, uh, Nick Ball is a good fighter, you know, in his own right. He beat Raymond, right? Ford. Isaac Dog Bay, Isaac Lowe. Um, those are pretty good. Those are pretty good fighters right there. Um, Raymond Ford was moving a lot good. You know, he has good mobility, a good jab. I do think he looked a little depleted on that fight night. But you know, it goes to show Nick Ball's power. You know, that fight could have, you know, went, you know, but we're not gonna talk about that. But the only thing that I want to pay attention to right now is this, right? All right. Cuellas and what's his name? What's his name? Christian Olair Olivera or Olivero, something like that. His name is Christian. They're fighting for a WBA title eliminator. So the reason why I'm paying attention to that, because he's going to end up being Nick Ball's mandatory. So unless Naoya Inoue can get up there and fight him, and then I would also take a welcome a fight with Angelo Leo. I would rather see him fight Angelo Leo. If I had, you know, I'm not Naoya Inoue, he could do whatever he wants. But if I had to pick it, I would try to save Espinoza for last. And I'm not saying I'm scared of the fight. I just think that's going to be a tough fight. You know, for as tall as that. Maybe Naoya Inoue, you know, getting underneath Espinoza, he might get lost in there and be too fast and make it a short night. For all we know, we're just assuming that Espinoza would be a tough fight because he's so tall and long in reach. You know, when Naoya Inoue fought Yo Boy, the Frenchman, yo, he knocked him out. He went right over the top like that. He brutalized that man. The majority of the tall fighters Naoya Inoue fought in his career, in fact, he knocked out faster than anybody his regular height. He knocked them guys out a lot faster. So I'm just look. And Naoya Inoue can fight whoever the hell he wants. I don't think he's scared of anybody or any of these guys, to be honest with you. But since I already got validation from Nick Ball, he's fighting TJ Doheny, he's welcoming a fight. Angelo Leo publicly came out and said he's welcomes a fight with Naoya Inoue. And since it's hard enough today to get these champions to fight you, because let's just remember, they don't have to fight you if he's initially not in the ranking system. That's when they become what we call a voluntary matchup. And if you're a champion, the organization's rules are you could take a voluntary fight, but he just can't be down from the top 15. You can't pick nobody down from the top 15 if you're a champion. When you take a voluntary, you could pick anybody within that because you have no mandatory. You might have already satisfied your mandatory, which on average, typically you have one mandatory a year. If you have one belt, Naoya Inoue, unfortunately, has 4 mandatories. You see, so it's hard to keep up with him. It really is. But this notion that he's ducking Marlon Tapales or that he'd rather drop the belt in the trash, yo, that's ridiculous, bro. Who the fuck told you guys that? Just anybody made that shit up? Did Naoya Inoue come out? Did you ever hear him say, I'm threatening to throwing this belt away because I don't want to fight him? I mean, versus all the other fighters that publicly came out and said it. The Riddick Bowes of the world. Remember when they came out? They had cameras. They made it public, threw the belt in the trash. Usyk came out, showed you he vacated the belt. All these fighters come out. Where in the world did Naoya Inoue come out and himself say, I'm thinking about vacating the belt because I don't want to fight MJ? So who, if he didn't say it, and if he's not doing it, then who made this up? Go track the source where that story first originated from. I guarantee you one thing, it won't be Naoya Inoue. Because these guys argue about ridiculous shit. Because they're trying to make it up, smear and discredit one of the best fighters we have today. They don't got nothing else. So what do they got to do? They got to make fake news. Because they don't got nothing real on them. Because as far as it goes on paper in the ring, he's doing it the best. It just blows me away that how much garbage they come out and say about this guy. And the one thing I keep saying, and I'm going to say it over and over and over again, who the hell are you comparing him to? If this is what he's doing, okay, then recognize that's what the best fighter in the world does. You don't like it? Really? Tell somebody to do it better. And until that happens, stop trying to lower the bar to get your guy in with bullshit. Stop trying to lower the bar and put fighters in on against them with these ridiculous careers. Oh, he fought this guy. Is that what we're doing now? We're fighting names? Or once was? That's what made all you guys tune into that Errol Spence Terrence Crawford fight, wasn't it? We knew. We saw the pictures. We heard him say he is not the same. We heard him talk about his last fight. But yet, you guys let the name allow you to put money on him. You didn't bother to. Wow, that was a pretty bad car accident. How many pain meds were you on? You were able to walk off all those pain meds? Just like that? How many surgeries did you have? Hip surgeries? Retina surgeries? Yet, they kept yelling his name so much, you started betting with your heart. You started betting and thinking about the man he once was. And it wouldn't let you see what is. The worstest ruder's awakening he got in the ring with Terrence Crawford. You got to admit, what the fight fans don't want to admit is how outmatched Errol Spence was in that ring. That's the truth. How he couldn't even land the punch on Terrence Crawford. And if he did land one or two punches, that was about it. How uneven the fight actually was. Because of respect for who Errol Spence was, they still want to close their eyes and say Errol Spence Jr. is still that guy and he can make a comeback and he's the best. And me, I got my eyes open and I'm saying, Errol, thank you for everything you have done. Thank you for all the moments. You were a phenomenal world champion. Brother, only you know if you should hang it up or not. Think about your legacy. Think about what you accomplished. You only lost to one man. If you call it quits, you only lost once. I believe you'll go to the Hall of Fame, Errol, and pack it up. Become a boxing promoter. You don't got to do this, brother. But if he decides to, Errol, just don't. I don't think it's great to come in and fight a world champion right away. You know, but you do you. You do you, brother. But that's what I mean. some of these boxing situations don't allow us to see the champion or the situation in front of us because it's either you don't want to see it or it's just not your guy or whatever. But when they're tearing down Naoya Inoue and they're making these false claims like or making you think that he's ducking Naoya Inoue. Naoya Inoue has never ducked any fight in his entire career. Unfortunately, he has 4 mandatories. And if Naoya, let's just say hypothetically, Naoya Inoue turned around would have fought MJ, right? Okay. Let's say way back then, MJ would have said or claims that Naoya Inoue should have fought him way back then. Let's say he would have fought him. The only thing that would have happened, Sam Goodman would turn into the MJ of today. It would just be Sam Goodman saying Naoya Inoue ducked him. That's all. Because he has 4 mandatories. And probably one of those mandatories are going to talk crap. So whether he fought MJ then, Sam Goodman, somebody out of the 4 is probably going to say Naoya Inoue's ducking him. Unfortunately, he can't fight all 4 of them at the same time. You see? So it really didn't matter, I don't think. I don't think even the situation would have changed. I just think that it would have been a different name calling him a duck. That's it. And what MJ's trying to do is, with Ed Hearn, in fact, all this fake claims and that I can't believe these regular YouTube channels, and these guys are smart boxing analyst dudes. They should have been able to figure out bullshit and not report it back on Ed Hearn's lies. You know what I'm saying? They should have just noticed that this was all like spewing, but these other channels started taking this as real. And they're really going on disrespecting our champion. I'm like, yo, you watch how you talk about the champ like that. You realize that's the champ you're talking about, right? An undisputed champion, right? All 4 belts and 2 separate weight division champion. You talking about that dude like that? Like, what? Watch how you talk about the champ, bro. People might not like that shit. And these people took it for real. Like he actually was ducking Marlon Tapales. Like if there was real truth behind it. I was like, are you guys okay? You do realize he beat the shit out of the dude that beat him and took his belt. Oh, that don't mean nothing. Yeah, to you. Because Ed Hearn, all of this that you've done is just to try to secure the biggest money fight your fighter can get. Without Naoya Inoue, you ain't making no money down there in them lower weight divisions for what? Yo, Ed Hearn would sell his mother for a Naoya Inoue fight right now. That's the biggest fight. As long as you're involved in the biggest world stage where this dude, yo, MJ and him, if Naoya Inoue filled up the Tokyo Arena with Luis Pantera Nari, he can go back there with MJ. Although it's going to be in Riyadh, I'm just trying to give you a rough estimate of how big that fight's going to be. Ed Hearn wants to be a part of the money train. He will say anything to try to, like, what they're doing right now is they're putting a big bait on the line. And they're trying to cut the line of the order of all the belts. That's all they're doing. They trying to see if Naoya Inoue grab on. They just saying anything. And they got these other guys trying to break down Naoya Inoue's record to try to prove him a hype job. Because there's some channels that just don't want him to flourish. Because by him existing, that discredits their champion. if this guy exists. Their only job is to try to make him disappear. You can't acknowledge what he's doing. How the hell can you say that your guy's better than when they look at what he's doing? How? They got to make him disappear. They got to call him a fake, a phony, steroids, hand wraps. And when every story gets proven to be false against him, they just make up another story. Whatever happened to the hand wrap debacle, the loaded hand wraps, Naoya Inoue is knocking people out because of loaded hand wraps. Let's take a trip down memory lane. And I'm going to read all your comments in 2 minutes. I'm going all the way back, and we're going to be on your comments, and I'm checking in with every one of you. All right? But let's look at the loaded hand wrap situation. Didn't Stephen Kubo Fulton's coach fly all the way out to Japan to accuse Japan's hero that he's a fraud? That the only way he's winning is because he fights with loaded hand wraps. Okay? All right. Why is it that they didn't talk about this after it happened? You guys do realize what occurred, right? Naoya Inoue was in his legal right to tell Stephen Kubo Fulton and his coach to piss off because we're in Japan now. You signed the contract to fight me under Japan rules. And under Japan rules, that's not illegal to wrap my hands like that. You know what this man did? Naoya Inoue? You know what kind of champion this man is? Let's talk about it. He told Stephen Kubo Fulton's trainers to come into his room, his locker room, to tell his guy that's rapping it which way you would like him to rap it. They said, no tape on skin. They said, fine, we'll do the gauze. Is this what you want? They said, yes. They signed off on his hands, and he brutalized that man like that. They don't want to talk about that. I thought that his power, the only reason why he was knocking people out was because of loaded hand wraps. So how the hell did he brutalize Stephen Kubo Fulton like that? As soon as these things get debunked, they don't want to talk about it no more. The steroid story, right? And that Mayweather saying all this. See, Mayweather knows his voice carries weight. How dare you, Mayweather, attack a man's career? That's fucked up, Mayweather. I've heard you say a lot of dumb shit and do shit, but Mayweather, you know, you could say anything about your type of man. I could talk about your kids, your mom. I could talk about anybody. The one thing that would have hurt you the most is talk about your boxing life, careers, work. What it took you a lifetime to achieve. What you're going to the Hall of Fame for. What you want to be recognized and credited for. The greatest of all time. How dare somebody come out and try to say that you had a steroid career, Floyd? That's not cool, Floyd. You could say whatever you want about him in the ring, but don't attack his character. And Floyd did that. That was dirty, bro. That was dirty. And what was it? Naoya Inoue passed every steroid test he's ever taken. They go to his house like at 2 a.m, wake up his kids. He's pissed off. Can't you guys do this in the morning? Now I got to get my kids back to bed. Wouldn't you be mad? So Naoya Inoue got mad and said, yo, this is bullshit. They tested me 3 times this week already. They're coming to my house at 2 a.m. I got little infant kids. So because he spoke up, somebody said, oh, he must be hiding something. Never tested positive. And mind you, the most time they test in all of boxing, just ask William Cepeda. So you could be the number 1 ranked, fight all those fights. Sometimes they don't even test you until you get to your first title fight in boxing. This is a big issue we're having in the sport of boxing. And sometimes you do get tested throughout, and you can volunteer tests and whatever. But for a title fight, it's basically mandatory. They follow you right out of the ring, right into the bathroom. They draw blood and take a urine after every world title fight. Naoya Inoue has been in 24 consecutive world title fights in a row. Each time they take his blood and urine. So when all these stories get debunked, notice how they don't bring them up anymore? They try to find, they never come out and say, yo, I apologize. They never said that their story was fake. They never said that they were wrong about him. They just keep looking for new ways to try to break him down. Let me go read some of y'all comments. What's up, Mark? What's up, Jesus? Rail Corner? Connor? Carlos, what's up, baby? Yeah, I hear you, brother. Devin Haney said it and knew he hasn't fought anybody. What you saying? What does it say here? Devin Haney said that and knew he ain't fought nobody. He said this in an interview saying he is good, but ain't no names on his resume. Ain't no names on his resume. Brother, you better look at your own resume. You got Loma, buddy. It's about it. What's it say? The Pound for Pound Ring Magazine rated world #1 for these. Yeah, he's crazy. He's Ed Hearns is like, get him off the net. Naoya anyway needs to get kicked off the pound. Yo, he'll say anything. The man sounds desperate. He wants the Naoya Inoue sweepstakes so bad. I'm telling you, he'll push his mother in front of a train right now. He lost so many fights. He's got to recuperate some kind of money. And you know when he puts Marlon Tapales, and he's such a snake, right? Going into the fight, he's telling Marlon Tapales, you can win, you can win. Soon as Marlon Tapales, I put all my money on Naoya Inoue. Everything on Naoya Inoue. Yeah, Marlon, go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Inoue, right. All right. He's a sucker. He's got to recoup some of them losses. He wants that big fight. Hmm. Devin Haney right now. I don't know if all you guys know this, right? Right? From the outside looking in, right? Like a lot of people say that Devin Haney's stock is going down right now. I disagree. I disagree, man. I think he's in an interesting situation. For as many people trying to say like Devin's done, his career that he seems to be taking photographs with some highly big people in some big places like Turkey. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what you say. Think these dudes can talk about, yo, first of all, stop counting other people's money. Worry about your own money, right? Devin out there trying to get it. That's what the fuck he need to do, right? And I gotta admit, all Devin Haney gotta do is rematch Ryan. I'm tuning in. So how the fuck can Devin Haney's stock be down? How the hell can his stock be down if the minute he say he fighting Ryan, I'm gonna be right there with my popcorn? So I don't get it when they say Devin's stock is down like that. I think my man, he's not in the best place, but he's not like he's still Devin Haney, bro. He can turn everything around. All of these fighters can. Shakur can too. Hell yeah. Give these fans bloods and knockouts. Or just fight the right guy, damn it. You tell me right now, Shakur Stevenson turns around, signs to fight Tank Davis in the next fight. You ain't going to tune into that fight. How the fuck are you saying that Shakur Stevenson is down? You just got to fight the right people. These guys still got big names. We're just upset that they're not fighting the right person yet. The minute they stop this foolishness and these guys agree to fight one another, I'm going to be right there like this. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You're damn right. So it's not like they're in a real situation where their stock plummeted. Like there's just, you know what I'm saying? We've seen some fights like that. They just went real far down. And speaking of which, right? And you got to be able to read through some of the bullshit in boxing and the tricks, right? Like, I don't know. Who do we compare them to? Let's see here. Hold on a second. Let me see if I could grab a situation here real quick. Okay. Perfect. This is better than I thought. Okay. When a man loses his belt, Subriel Matias, he lost his title, the IBF, right? He went down number 6, right? Okay. Angela Leo knocked out Luis Alberto Lopez. Luis Alberto Lopez had that belt for a while. He got knocked out. He dropped down in the rankings, number 6. How the hell can MJ lose his belts to Marlon Tapales, fight a guy not ranked in the top 50, and be the number 1 back for a title shot and the mandatory to Naoya Inoue's belt? Because he fought twice, but by just fighting that one, that Kevin guy, they were already saying he was the mandatory at that point. He just fought this fight. Going into this fight, Ed Hearn was already into this fight saying Naoya Inoue was ducking Marlon Tapales. We don't even have to count the next fight that MJ fought because he fought 2. But you're saying, because according to what they're saying, he lost his belt for the guy not even ranked in the top 50. And now, at this point, Naoya Inoue was ducking him. That's the situation. That was the time frame. That's where I'm going from. Remember the video? Naoya Inoue, stop ducking me. And Ed Hearn, that night, just before MJ went into the ring to fight that bum, right? He was undefeated though. It was still a dressed up padded record. As you can see, Marlon Tapales MJ beat him fast, right? He was tailor made for him. Ed Hearn was outside of that post-fight interview pleading his case to the boxing gods to get their fight with Naoya Inoue. So that's the situation. One fight, guy not ranked in top 50, you're already mandatory to the belt you lost. Meanwhile, in the real boxing world, fighters got to make their way back up. Subriel Matias got to make his way back up. Luis Alberto Lopez got to make his way back up. But in the WBA ranking? Oh, no. They do whatever the fuck they want. They dress up the lie, the situation. See, the WBA don't care. You mean to tell me you can get our belt in the ring to fight? Naoya Inoue got to pay sanctioning fees to the number 1 ranked guy. Of course they're going to lie for you. The WBA is going to help push your grandmother. Somehow people believe these lies like that. And let's just also remember the biggest elephant in the room. The majority of these promoting companies don't get along. Remember? At least that's what they're telling you up in those other weight divisions, ain't it? That the reason why I didn't get this fight, because my promotional company doesn't mess with his. But when it comes to Naoya Inoue, it seems like nobody wants to bring up anything else. Just get it done. Just do the fight. Just get it done. Really, he doesn't have any of these problems down there? If he doesn't have any of these problems down there, then you guys shouldn't have those problems up there. The truth of the matter is this. This is the truth and nothing but the truth, guys. Naoya Inoue is doing it the best right now in the current world of boxing, and I'm not gonna bite. I'm not gonna bite my mouth just to go with the majority because I feel like I'm on an island by myself as far as reporting on this one particular fighter. And the thing is, the truth is, he's just the best. He's the best current fighter we have today. He should be in number one spot in every category. There is not a man right now that can beat him in any category. And that's just the truth. And if you can't beat him in any category, why should there be anybody else in front of him? Once again, I believe we're just going by a name, popularity, the majority consensus of who knows that fighter than rather than who knows this fighter. The fact that anyone can wake up tomorrow and just hear about Naoya Inoue, then be like, dog, like, I've been a Terrence Crawford fan for this long. I've never heard of this dude. All of a sudden, he comes out of left field and he's going to be better than Terrence Crawford. Get the hell out of here. At that point, those kind of fans are not going to want to hear it. It's just not my fault you didn't know nothing about him. Get familiar. Get familiar. I'm saying right now, yes, Terrence Crawford could whoop Naoya Inoue's ass. Yeah, he's just too big for him, of course. But what you do at your job, if you're in this weight division, do what you got to do in your own weight division. As you can see, Terrence Crawford had no problem doing it in his. Usyk had no problem doing it in his. Naoya Inoue didn't have no problem doing it in his. And anybody else that they want to compare against those three guys, get me someone that's doing it better. Yet, Terrence is garbage, Usyk is garbage, and Naoya Inoue is garbage by some. By many. There's a lot of people that don't give Usyk no credit at heavyweight or for what he did at cruiserweight. You've heard him. There's people that don't give credit Terrence Crawford no respect or no credit for all his achievements that he's done in his weight division. You've heard him. And there's mad people that don't give Naoya. Okay. And then my argument to all of that is, okay, if you're not getting those guys credit, who's doing it better than them? Because if you're not even on their level as part of success goes, as part of success, if you don't got a guy that could at least mirror them or pass them, and you're calling them garbage, then what is your guy? And that's how I'm looking at it. It's just quick to tear someone down. It's easy to try to tear someone down when you're trying to promote yours by a smokescreen saying, no, I'm not really like sticking up for this guy. I'll give it to this guy. But no, you're promoting him just like I'm promoting Naoya Inoue as the greatest fighter on the planet. And I get behind that shit. Why? I promote this guy for a lot of different reasons. Not just because of his skill, not for just his impressive resume, not for him just going up 4 weight divisions, not for any of that stuff neither. Not some of that has to do with it all. Yes, of course, right? But it's the way he carries himself in and out of the ring. And what excellence is supposed to look like. When I'm studying a great one, what is it that he's doing that these other guys are not doing? Seems like these guys are on social media. Whenever they click on, they got a little entourage around them. They're going out somewhere. They're everywhere but the gym. Naoya Inoue post hitting the bag, hitting the speed bag, shadow boxing. They seem to be all post of him in the gym. Whatever he's doing has something to do about boxing, or he's just taking some pictures with some fans on his way to do something in regards to boxing. So when you study these guys, and I'm looking at him, I'm saying, what is he doing different? And you start to realize some shit. You start to realize what it takes to be great. And how easy anybody can just tear down your accomplishments. And no one seems to be doing it in the same era he's in. All these men are here. Junto, Bam Bam, all these great fighters, Nonito Donaire, all these amazing top fighters, they're all here with him. No one seems to be doing it. It's just remarkable. And rather than saying, yeah, he has to be that good, he's really that good, rather than saying that, they rather go on the line, he's not really that good. But the only thing they can't do is prove to you why he's not that good and why this guy is better. You can't do it. You can't do it because I've done it already. I don't want to keep doing it because I love Terrence Crawford, but I'll put up Terrence Crawford against his record any day of the week. I'll put them both up side by side. And we can go down both day records. You're not going to want to do it. You're not going to want to do it, bro. He rocks Terrence Crawford so bad, it's not even funny, bro. I mean, if you want to argue numbers, he beats him in numbers. You want to argue belt, he beats him in belts. You want to argue weight division, he beats him in weight divisions. And they're tied in 4 right now, yeah, but he actually jumped past 1 weight division, so it's actually like 5. So he's going to end up beating him. I know where these conversations lead, bro. I'm just trying to speed things up. I know you're going to say, it's going to go to where I said it's going to go. It's going to get there. That's where you're going to get. I'm just trying to spare you it. Terrence doesn't beat him in nothing. I did it. I put both day credit by, and Terrence supposed to be the best. He just doesn't. He doesn't fight enough. He's not active enough. He doesn't have enough wins in the past 5 years. Naoya Inoue is doubling and tripling his fights. And as we all know, a fighter is held and what makes you an elite fighter and makes you the best is each time you put it all on the line. The more risk you take every time you enter the ring, the more possibility of somebody beating you. You can't fight 1 time and I fight 4 times and you say you're better than me because the guy you fought is more popular. That's not how boxing works. Yeah, you beat Errol Spence Jr., right? He's a very popular fighter. He had 3 belts, right? Unified world champion. But you can't sit back and let this guy fight 4 times. And in between those 4 times, he defended all 4 belts 3 times. Just putting up all 4 belts 1 time to anybody is incredible. He's putting up 4 belts like if it was just 1 title defense. Like if he had 1 belt. He's literally just title defense. Anybody, you. When Terrence never did that. He never defended under the 4 and 140, 147. And it took him, I think, a little over 6 years to unify all 4 belts at 147. It took Naoya Inoue 6 months. In the second, it took him like a little for the 140. It took him like 2 years and a half. It took Naoya Inoue because of the corona epidemic, like the 2 years. Had he not went through that, he probably would have unified those faster as well. He was on pace of fighting that title fight with John Casamero at the time. He's he's just doing it too fast and too strong, man. He's it's incredible. If you think about it, Terrence Crawford got 41 fights to his 29, right? He literally like did it in less time. It's like all Terrence Crawford's accomplishments, he cut them all in half. And he's undefeated. And he's like, it's crazy that what their gimmick is that let's think, don't pay attention to what Naoya Inoue is actually doing. Just hear Terrence Crawford's name. He was the first man to unify in 2 separate weight divisions. Terrence Crawford, the world knows who he is. You know what I mean? Usyk is the heavyweight champion of the world. He has the most prestigious belt. Just listen to their names. Don't ask, don't fact check what Naoya Inoue is actually doing. That's what they're trying to get you not to see. And they're trying to do it by discrediting the guys that he fought. You can't even do it that way neither. Because if you go down that road, a person that's going to tell the truth is going to reveal the truth. That his competition, in fact, you might not have known their names. But let me tell you, they were so good, in fact, right, that they were able to lose to Naoya Inoue and go back and become a world champion. No fighter that Terrence Crawford beat as a world champion ever went back and got their belt. Right? No undefeated fighter that Terrence Crawford's ever fought in his career ever fought for a world championship. So when you say, oh, Terrence Crawford fought 7 undefeated fighters, well, I'm here to tell you that none of those fighters ever went on into their career and they even led to compete for a world title. None of them, because they weren't good. You see? I mean, I could argue Terrence Crawford's situation because I could represent him. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'll show you why that shit happened in his career. Most of that shit is not his fault. It's not. And Terrence Crawford had to take the fights he had to take. And I know that. I know that. Doesn't look good, but I know what happened. I know he's a great fighter, and I know respectfully so, he was the first man in his history to unify in both separate weight divisions. And no matter what, baby, that's a done deal. USA got that title. We were the first there. Doesn't matter. So Terrence done some shit. He's done some shit. And he beat the people he had to beat. You know, he didn't want to fight Sean Porter at the end. And when you look it out on his resume, you're like, damn, he beat John Porter at the end of his career. That was his last fight, right? But if he would have went on throughout his career with all these people saying he dug Sean Porter, blah, blah, blah. Finally, he takes and he beats on Sean Porter. Then the people are pissed off at Terrence. Why you beat up or fought old ass Sean? You asked for it. You guys made me fight him. There were a lot of fights that the people made Terrence Crawford fight. There were some fights that he was going through that top rank situation. You know, suing Bob Arum, wasn't getting the fights, he felt he wasn't getting promoted right. I'm asking for this fight and you're giving me this fight. That was whole Terrence Crawford's argument, which backs him on the level of these guys that put him in the ring. Because we can go back in time where Terrence was telling the world, you didn't want to see me fight this guy? I didn't want to fight this guy. This is the only thing Bob Arum gave me. That's why he started suing him. You see? So I know about Terrence Crawford and I know about some of those situations and those fights. And I understand. He still did his shit. He just doesn't have a better record than Naoya Inoue in the sense that if statistically you was to put who did it quicker, who did it better, who was more impressive, who fought more world champions, you know, all these things. And you're just gonna see that his opportunities, Naoya, in a way, were bigger, much faster. Terrence Crawford fought one unified world champion, Errol Spence Jr., right? And he beats him. Naoya Inoue fights two unified world champions back to back. Everything Terrence did, I'm telling you, he did better. Yeah. But since I also know this, I can put their records against each other, which I did. Really doesn't matter. Truth be told, the real thing about boxing, and I always knew this, Terrence can only be judged by his weight division. So only can Naoya Inoue. Good. His record was more impressive at the super bantamweight. Yeah, that's great for you. But that's not where Terrence Crawford is he? No. So what does Terrence Crawford got to be judged by? His fucking weight division. 140, 147, 154. So although Naoya Inoue, yeah, you're doing all that stuff right there, I can only get credit for my division. So technically, Terrence is doing some great shit up there. And technically, Naoya Inoue is doing some great shit down there. And technically, we're in a freaking good era in boxing. If you got three guys simultaneously doing this, are you not impressed? Are you not impressed? Really? You guys seen this shit before in history? When have you ever seen anything like this? When have you ever heard of records like this and these kind of conversations in the history of boxing? Now, I've heard some interesting boxing reports. I've sat back and listened to the best of them. I've never heard no kind of boxing talk like this, where that men are walking into two separate weight divisions and conquering one after another. Where is it that in the history of boxing, you want Terrence Crawford to fight Saul? And there's welcoming it. Back in the days, fight fans would have never went for that shit. Hell no. Maybe they would have took the money. Sugar Ray Leonard, he was one money-making dude. And all of them had their time. Because for as popular and for as much money Floyd made, in Sugar's era, Sugar Ray Leonard's era, he was the cash cow by far. They paid him, I think it was like $44 million to fight Mark. That was unheard of. Motherfuckers ain't getting that now. And he got that with Mark. I think it was like 44. I believe it was. I'm going to go look it up again. I remember that shit. I was like, damn. No, Devin Haney did say something about Naoya. Anyway, I saw the video myself. He was in some training thing. It was when he was fighting Scooter, Stephen Kubo Fulton. In fact, Devin Haney just didn't know nothing about Naoya anyway. What they showed Devin Haney was like a video by that dude. What's his name? He's like a real hater of all races, and he claims that everybody else is the racist channels, and he's got like one of the most racist viewpoints in the world. I'm not even sure he sees himself anymore. What's his name, bro? He's been around for a while on I just stopped listening to him. That's why I can't even remember his name. Dante's Boxing Nation. Dante, he was on Dante's Boxing Nation, and he put up that interview with Devin Haney when he said something about Naoya Inoue. That was the only time on any interview I've ever seen Devin Haney say anything. It was when he was coming into the fight with Scooter. That was it. That was the only time I ever seen him since it. And that dude Dante Boxing Nation, um, his whole thing is he always slides it in. He goes, you hear all these racist fans always downing the black boxer and this and that. And I get it. I get it at once upon a time or even in this time, there's racism that creates, and I could see his passion for putting up his people, no problem. And I don't even mind him calling out the racist fans because there are racist fans. I don't even mind him doing it. The problem is that he no longer sees himself. He no longer sees himself. He doesn't even see that he is blatantly being racist and blatantly using himself. That I think he's been fighting the racist fans for so long, he turned into the one thing he was fighting. I literally watched him turn into the one thing he was fighting. Because in the beginning, he was saying a lot of true stuff, and he was making good points, and I was when I used to hear him way back when, but he's changed so much that I guess he feels that his narrative is to, just promote that. Yeah, but he's got it bad, like real bad. Like I'm watching him and I hear him talk sometime and my skin crawls. I'm just like, dude, like chill out. Like I be with him, I'll be like, yeah, man, you're making a good point. And then he just loses me with this race talk. And I'm just like, man, don't do that, bro. Prove your point by your skills and your knowledge. Prove your point by real facts, by research. Don't don't do that, man. Don't be a slime ball and try to like pour on the people and separate us and divide us and try to like, but I who am I? There's men and women in this world that are gonna do it. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right. I think that if you bleed just like I bleed, we the same fucking thing. I don't care what color they made you. I don't care what model you came in. Would you come in the midnight black model? Yeah. I came in the almost coffee model. Yeah. I wish I was a little darker, a little bit in between. Yeah, like the coquito. Yo, them women are beautiful. Their skin. I want that look like in there, be like Casanova and shit. You know what I mean? I came out maybe a shade lighter. You know what I mean? I, 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 I didn't like my model. I'm not as tall as I want. I didn't get to order this one. They gave me this model, but that's what we're in, right? Like, ain't we all just people? What's this fucking? Because you look like this and he's this and tall like this. What the fuck does that got to do with fighting, bro? Listen, I'm just gonna say it. A black dude can't take a punch no more than a Mexican. Mexican can't take a punch no more than a Chinese. It's just who they are, how tough they are, and as a human. If he was born a different, he probably would have been the same person, just a different nationality. Then you would be saying, "Oh, these guys get hit the best or take the best punches." No, that's just bullshit. It's just the person. It's him. What made Julio Cesar Chavez? You heard those stupid rumors? Oh, he has this thicker frontal lobe because of a Mexican and they can take punches. Like, come on, bro. That man was just tough, bro. He was just a tough dude, man. Stop it. Now all Mexicans gotta, like Floyd says, they could just take ass whoopings or they can just be tough people. Like, yo, like, let's stop, man. It's just crazy, and it pisses me off when they go that way. Because I respect every man. I got my ass kicked by all kinds of nationality of people. It didn't matter. I knew once I wanted to get better in fighting. Once I got to like 11 years old, 12, and I started knowing a little bit and I got better, and fights was just fights, man. But that pisses me off when they do that shit. And I'm here to tell you right now, don't be blind by those narratives. We're all just people. We're all human in this world, bro. I love my race just like you love your race, and you should be proud of who you are. Um, but if I saw your mom driving on the highway and her tire popped, I would like to believe that somebody would pull over and help my mom. Just because she was Puerto Rican, you wouldn't stop to help her. I would like to think that if I saw your mom on the side of the road, I would help her. I would help her. You know, sometimes people in this world don't see it like that. It's unfortunate. Can't tell you what to do with your life or how you view things. Not here to change your mind, but I'm here to also fight against what's right and what's wrong and what I feel is right and wrong. I feel like these men go out there and they put it all on the line so much that some of these men have died in the ring. They have given their lives. How dare us just criticize them? Oh, you don't want to fight him or him. Well, then you go in there and get punched by that dude. You go in there and get punched by Tank Davis. Go ahead. You think that shit is easy? Nah, I think I might want to avoid that right now. You know, some people are like, shit, go in there and get punched by Naoya in a way. Ask Yi Jung Kim, you know? And I think they give us so much. So I can respect the warrior. I know what it takes to get there. I know what it takes to train to keep that shit. And damn, that shit is not easy. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I mean, I guess I could have in my situation. I just trust me when I tell you I couldn't do it. But I respect them. I respect them. And I'm gonna respect all these warriors, man. Ed Hearn, he's a snake, he's a little boxing promoter. You know, he'll say some stuff, but the one thing that none of these guys are gonna have is proof. You're not gonna get proof. What you'll get from Naoya Inoue and the haters are facts over feelings type thing. And that's what you're gonna have to hit them with. You're gonna have to hit them. I said that kind of backwards. You're gonna have to hit them with the facts over their feelings. That's the way I meant to say it. You know, because they're gonna be all in their feelings, and they're gonna be just saying what they feel. I feel this guy's better. I think this guy can beat him. I think this, but not nothing fact because you don't got nothing. I don't see it. I don't see it. If he only had 5 fights in his professional career that he didn't fight for a belt, name me somebody that even came close to that and that had it consistently going to present date. Meaning, Loma fought for a belt and his second professional fight lost that fight. In his fourth professional fight, he won a world title. Where's Loma's belts today? Was he able to hold on to that belt? Did he go on a massive title run? What did he do? That's what you're judged by. And if there's no boxer, I'm telling you, has ever done that, how the hell could these guys be better in the regards of a record? Now, as a fan, Glamour Division, Terrence Crawford is well more known out here. I would say Naoya Inoue is well more known out there. I don't think as many fighters know who the hell Terrence Crawford is. He's not like Tank Davis. That's a fact, Jack. I think fighters and people in Japan know Tank. Yeah, he's a global superstar. He's a little bit different. Terrence, on the other hand, his popularity status, I'm not sure how far it reaches. I'm not sure. Shit, you might go to the Philippines and be like, Terrence Crawford. Then we might look around, who the fuck is Terrence Crawford? Like, they might not know who he is. I'm not sure. Ali, his status is worldwide. Floyd, his status is worldwide. Everybody, every country knows who Floyd Mayweather is, and he still ain't boxing. He no longer boxes. How many stars you got that can do that? How many people's name carry as far as Tank Davis is right now? No bullshit, right? I think Ryan Garcia got a big name. I think a lot of people in different countries know who Ryan Garcia is. My opinion. I think so. I'm gonna take an educated guess there. And because Brian shared the stage with Devin Haney, it kind of gave Devin Haney that spotlight. But had he not fought Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney might not be as popular. I think that Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia fight, even though it's getting a lot of scrutiny, it's giving them a lot of eyes. Bad media, good media, it's all media. Whether more people dislike Devin Haney or not, you know who he is. That's powerful. You could turn that around on their ass. One day they could be scrutinized you. He go out there, knock out Ryan Garcia. Now you turned them into a fan. Because you're familiar with him. See? Naoya Inoue is a rock star in Japan. You should see some of these crowds. Just waves of people. He's a damn rock star out there, bro. Yeah, that is pretty incredible. It's not a lot of fighters that can do that. And when you're a rock star like that, and you got like all the surrounding countries, not just Japan, rock with them, bro. There's a lot of other countries around everywhere that are, because he's on that side of the world. You know, they rock with him. You know, he's pretty big. He's pretty big over there. He's pretty big. But I don't think that his star status is as strong everywhere. Nah. Naoya Inoue, you go to Texas, say his name, they might not know who he is. Yeah, and that's fucked up, right? You would think one of the best fighters in the world. Is just that he's just in a small weight division. But I know he has the power to bend the needle, bro. And I'm gonna prove it. I'm gonna prove it. I'm still standing on this. I'm gonna prove it. See, because I've seen it before in boxing. The glamour divisions are 130, 135, 140, 147. Sometimes 154. Sometimes. Sometimes there could be a fighter that was so dominant at 147, Mayweather, and go to 54, Manny Pacquiao, right? And, fighters like that. And they can make the 154-pound weight division pretty spectacular, like fighters Miguel Cotto entering those kind of weight divisions. So at that time, that weight division caught on fire. And you could see that it wasn't initially one of the glamour divisions, but it became a popular division. And what I mean by Naoya Inoue being able to bend the needle is that when he gets to 126, he can make that the new 130. He can make it a popular division. He could pull the needle this way. He's close enough to 130 that I think it'll attract eyes. I think he gets in there with Nick Bowles of the world, the Angela Leo, the Espinoza. I think he gets in there and he starts mixing it up with these guys. And then what's the situation with Ray? Is he still the champion in recess for that belt? Brandon Figueroa's title, which he has the WBC, he's supposed to be fighting the Stephen Kubo Fulton, right? Okay. Is he officially because as of this morning, I went on the WBC website. I do that kind of like, yo, by the way, WBC, WBA, IBF, and WBO, step your motherfucking game up on your websites. Yo, that website looks like it was made in 1985. Like, your websites are garbage, bro. All of you. And every time I go on, I think that they're gonna, like, every year, like, oh, they'll get better. Yo, it is. WBO did some shit. They started to, like, put up pictures, and the WBC, bro, your website looks hurt. And you guys are supposed to be the most prestigious belt in all of boxing. Yo, it literally looks like 1985 in there. Like, come on, bro. Software. Get your shit together, man. You guys are the major sanctioning bodies of the world. How embarrassing. IBF, step up your game, bro. Your websites are trash. So anyway, I go up there and I'm checking it out. WC got Ray Vargas, champion in recess, to Brandon Figueroa's belt. So how does that work? Devin Haney, I'm hearing, he's still the champion in recess. It's to the same organization. Does any other organization do this besides the WBC? Put champions in recess? Have you guys ever asked yourself that? Damn, bro. No wonder I haven't been reading you guys' messages. You guys been texting away. I'm so bad. Yo. Yeah, in the Philippines, there's a lot of haters for Naoya Inoue, of course, because it's the Philippines, right? But I'm gonna tell you right now, don't be fooled. In the attendance in the Naoya Inoue fight against Luis Pantera Nari, you think there was no Filipino people in attendance? That close to a fight, they're gonna go watch it. Each island are definitely gonna cheer for themselves, but the thing is, like I said, okay, you made a great point. In the Philippines, there's thousands of Filipino people that hate Naoya Inoue. Did you just admit that they know him? And that's what I want to get you and the world to see. They do know who he is on that side of the world, don't they? It just really depends what side of the world you're on. Because not every fighter, they're going to know who they are on that side of the world. I'm not sure if you can take freaking Shakur Stevenson, for as popular as he is, and say, Shakur Stevenson over here, people might not know who the fuck he is. Not everybody's star status bangs like that. No, they really don't. So, and then Terrence Crawford is having a hard time. Like, Americans are not easy to impress. We're a nation of people that've seen it all, the best of the best in the world. You know how many times we've seen people get knocked out? We love to watch it. It never gets old, does it? That shit never gets old, right? But we're not that impressed. Americans are hesitant to hit the like button. Yeah, because we're led by egos in our head. It's like, for somehow, there's this thing inside of my head, like helping another person out or showing support. sometimes becomes a little bit of arrogance or cocky in my demeanor. I don't know why, but at least I'm honest with myself. I could assess myself and look at myself and be like, yo, Ed, like, you be doing this shit. And I'll be like, yeah, I'm right. Yeah. A lot of things I got to work on and shit. But as an American, where did I learn that from? That's exactly what I'm speaking about. Americans, we're not impressed easily, man. These fighters, it's hard for them to get this kind of star status. Not unless you have that it factor. Gervonta Tank Davis seems to have that. And there are other fighters that are fighting way better champions, bigger matches, not quite getting the recognition like Gervonta Tank Davis. That's not fighting those kind of fights. But he seems to be the superstar. Opinions aside, the man's a good fighter. Just don't think he's fighting the right guys. But he's one of the highest paid. Go figure. You got guys that are daring to be great, calling for all the smoke, wishing they had an opportunity, passing all the tests, and still broke. Americans are just hard to impress. That's why today there's only 6, 7 pay-per-view fighters on the planet. It's hard to get them to tune in. It's hard to hit a like button in America. Shit. Even when they see greatness. I don't know why. But fight fans, listen, I gotta tell you, man. I can't wait to see Naoya Inoue back in the ring. I can't. There's Philippines that love him. What you saying? There are many Philippines that love boxing and they appreciate Naoya Inoue's prestige. Casemiro talking shit in his page and his fanboys. Listen, I mean, he's trying to keep himself relevant to get in the Naoya Inoue gravy train. Because down there at the bantamweight division, light bantamweight division, super bantamweight, whatever you want to call it, featherweight, super featherweight. Um, he's making the most money any boxer down there has seen in quite some time. There has probably been no boxer in boxer history in the bantamweight or the super bantamweight division that kind of made that kind of money of late. It's since a 4-belt era or even a 3-belt era. I don't think there's no man that ever made that kind of money. So if you're not, see, what a Naoya Inoue fight brings to the table, you're probably going to make anywhere between 4 times the amount of money you've made in your last 5 fights, right? Or your last fight, right? You're going to make 4 times what you made in your last fight or any of your last 5 fights, right? You're also going to be given an opportunity to fight for 4 belts. You're also given an opportunity to be the man to defeat this kind of champion. You're also, win, lose, or draw, or be given the opportunity to share the ring with him, and it's going to go down on your resume. A Naoya Inoue fight comes with a lot of stuff. Like a lot. No wonder Ed Hearn is over here. Spewing. Saying whatever it comes out of his freaking mouth. And I can't believe how many people actually bought into it, though. Like, there's literally guys on there, but you could see them, they're sweating. Naoya never fought this guy, but who did that guy fight? And who did his uncle fight? Oh, see right here, he fought his his grandson's neighbor's cousin's sister's brother's boyfriend, and he wasn't a worthy opponent. So that makes Naoya Inoue garbage. See, I proved my point. See, that's what they get. Yo. It's crazy. How can they disrespect the champ like this? Fucking ridiculous, bro. If you meet that man and he walks in the room, you better say, "Hey, champ, how you doing?" Shit, this dude that get called champ the less never even won a world title. Could be a coach. We still call him champ out of respect, you know. And there are reporters that we call champ, right? Out of respect. They've been doing it for a long time. You mean to tell me when you see the real deal, you don't call him champ? There are former world titles that are retired, like Mike Tyson. If he walked in the room, first words out of my mouth, "What's up, champ? How you doing?" First, that's just respect. I'm gonna say the right thing. "Hey, champ, how you doing, champ?" He's the real deal. You mean to tell me the real deal, current, undisputed world champion, walking? Hey, you're a hype job. You're a bum. Yo, you might get beat up, but listen. Yo, that's incredible. How the fuck am I gonna be cool with that? How am I gonna be cool with that? Yeah, debating on things, and some of these champions be doing some bullshit, and we call them out on it. We call Saul out on his shit, didn't we? Yeah, we did. Um, but he's still a champ. Saul walk in the room. As soon as he walk in, oh shit, Saul, what's up, champ? How you doing? That's the fucking real deal, man. That ain't no bootleg common cow. He ain't got no silver title. The silver interim world champion, the gold, the Lake Erie, the Lake Wachusett champion of the world. Fuck out of here with that belt. But the real deal, come on, man. That's why I don't, you know what I'm saying? You can't disrespect these top guys like that and just think that um that all of a sudden the guy that you're promoting, there's nothing wrong with him. By disrespecting these top guys, then you're definitely saying that your guy must suck. He has to. Because these top guys, you're fucking tearing them apart. Don't even tell me about your guy anymore. Because according to you, he has to suck. Has to. You know, so yeah. So fight fans, listen. I'm gonna cut this short. I gotta get something to eat. My stomach's been growling for a minute. Oh shit, I got some pizza over here. I forgot about that. I got that chicken bacon large pizza there. How many slices I got in there left? Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, I'm hungry, bro. I'm about to go knock some of that pizza out. Listen, fight fans, love yourself, love you guys. I can't wait to see what's gonna happen with Naoya anyway. Who's gonna really be his next opponent? I think that it might just end up being Picasso, or MJ might just get his wish. Because let's just remember and keep this in mind. Picasso does not have to take the fight, ladies and gentlemen. He does not have to accept the fight. You can't make him take the fight. If he doesn't take it, I think that the WBC should punish that, bring him down in the ranking. Right. Right. But he doesn't have to take the fight. If he pushes to the side, MJ can take the fight. And there's another scenario where MJ and his team can pay Picasso step aside money. Picasso could take the step aside money and allow Naoya Inoue to fight him. There's multiple scenarios where Picasso doesn't actually have to be the end up to fight him. Although Bob Arum is telling you the truth, and he's telling you that the next guy should be, in fact, Picasso, if it happens to be that MJ fights him next, it doesn't necessarily mean that he was the next man in line. Look at me, I was telling the truth. No, that's not what that means. It just means that they offered Picasso the fight. He said no, he got in. It's going to make him look Like, look, I was the next man. So just be aware of some of these things, some of the smoke screens that they will try to sell you. If Picasso goes next and you don't see the WBA stripping Naoya Inoue, it's because they didn't have any power at the time to strip him. If, in fact, they do strip him, then he was ducking MJ. Yeah. If the WBA can strip Naoya Inoue, that would speak louder than a billion words. You wouldn't have to say anything to me. I would report the truth because now they are acknowledging that you bypassed them. They had to have power to do that. So, yeah. But if you see that they don't, he wasn't really the next man in line. Just wait your turn. Your ass whooping will come. Because that's what they're waiting for. Each of these men are arguing to get in place to get knocked out. Let's not forget that. And they're like, no, let me get knocked out first. No, I'm going first. Come on. I want to get knocked out first. Chill. Yeah, that's how it is, Jax. Right? Because MJ, John Casamara, all of them, Sam Goodman, whoever you want to go get, that's all they're arguing for, to make sure whoever gets the bag first and which one of them gets knocked out faster. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been my pleasure. I am Edwin. Love yourselves. Take care of your families. Where do all fights start? You know it. Round One Sports Talk. Tune in tomorrow. Please give these videos a like. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. And like always, I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports Talk. Keep boxing alive and don't ever let them disrespect our champions we have today, because that's what keeps our boxing sport alive.